It's just really scary that a place that's supposed to protect you is now possibly going to be a place that can hurt you.
Threats of school violence on social media becoming a dangerous and disruptive trend in our schools. The FBI helped investigate about 20 social media threats to Pittsburgh area schools just 1 month at the end of last year.
They started on Snapchat, TikTok, and other platforms. And tonight we're taking a deeper look at the impact these threats are having and what can be done to help stop them. 11 Investigates' Angie Moreski has been talking to schools, students, law enforcement about this. And Angie, one thing is certain is that this is just happening way too often.
Boy, that's the truth, Lisa. And it's really having an impact and taking a toll on students, parents, and school employees. Very frightening and very stressful. I sat down with a group of kids who were impacted by these threats along with their principal and the FBI to get their insight. The daily rhythm of school.
Let's go, young people. You should be in class.
Is being disrupted more often than ever by threats of violence on social media.
It could traumatize you and make you not want to go to school anymore.
One word is just scary. That's what it is. It's scary.
Like these posts sent on Snapchat threatening gunshots at a specific date and time at various schools and warning students to be careful.
I often say social media and specifically Snapchat is the devil.
Propel Montour High School was among multiple schools from West Mifflin, Penn Hills, Stowe Rocks, North Hills, McKeesport, and more impacted by a rash of social media threats over the past few months, sending many into lockdown or virtual learning out of an abundance of caution.
We were impacted at least 4 times, and the first 2 were, the panic was at a high level. I would say maybe 9 out of 10.
Welcome. Thank you for all coming together.
These Propel students, Alea, Amir, Skylar, and Anthony, sat down to talk with us about how it impacted them.
It's just really scary that a place that's supposed to protect you is now possibly going to be a place that can hurt you.
They're smart, opinionated, and care a lot.
I care because I just want to feel comfortable where I'm learning at and where I'm going to school at.
I care because the topic is something that is very real. And it really does happen.
The most recent very real shooting happened in Oxford, Michigan, where a 15-year-old opened fire in a hallway at his school, killing 4 students and injuring 7. That happened just before the rash of threats in the Pittsburgh area.
Did it worry you that it might be the real thing? I mean, what goes through your head?
I was scared to come to school.
Thankfully, the recent threats here were all hoaxes.
It's a lot of copycat going on.
The FBI was called in to help local police investigate.
One gets posted, a school gets closed down, and then other kids start getting ideas like, hey, if I post something similar, maybe that will close my school down as well.
It's a relief the threats weren't more serious, but still frustrating to these kids who take their education seriously.
It makes me upset because just because you don't care about your education, don't mess up someone else's.
Most of the time, these threats can be traced, even when someone tries to post anonymously, like Robert Unknown. But one thing parents and students might not realize is sharing the post, even with the best of intentions of warning others, can actually complicate the process.
Someone takes a screenshot of it and then shares it with a bunch of people, and then that gets shared and that gets shared. So the further out that happens, the harder sometimes it is to track down to the original source.
So the FBI says don't share the post. Just contact police as quickly as possible so they can determine if it's a credible threat.
Usually it's tracking that person down who made that threat and doing an interview, making sure that there's no weapons in the house, talking to the parents, making sure that that person is not an imminent threat.
Whether it is a real threat or not, it's still very serious.
This is a criminal offense. Sometimes they think maybe in their head this is just a joke. They can be charged. It is very serious.
Do most people realize how serious it is and that it's not a joke?
I don't think some people do. I think they just find it funny. But they just like attention seeking.
And these kids say social media makes it worse.
Social media holds too much power over the youth.
I don't have social media because I feel like it could get toxic.
Do you have any accounts?
No.
None. You're like anti-social media.
Yes.
You're boycotting.
Yes.
Since most kids won't do that, both police and schools urge parents to be more proactive and pay closer attention to what their kids do on social media.
Parents, please monitor your students, your children's social media activity. If we all do that, we will reduce what's going on today.
And some very important advice there from Dr. Wallace. And we want to share with you some tips and resources on how to prevent the spread of these threats online, and also advice on what to do if there is a real threat and there's an active shooter in your school. Just check out this story on our app or website and you'll find the information there. And David and Lisa, when you have so many of these hoaxes, it's very easy to get complacent and let your guard down, but the FBI says you can't do that. You have to take them all very seriously because you never know when one's going to be real.
Yeah, and as parents, there definitely is a role for parents to play here to make sure they know what their kids are doing with their phones.
That's for sure.
Such good information. Great
And how
story.
about those kids? Incredible.
Oh, they were amazing. And the one without social media, good for him.
Amir, all right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you.